So the grid is as follows for this one. Mike van Vugt starts again from pole position, and alongside him will be Tom Heinertz from the Netherlands as well. Daniel Ginchard from Persistence Motorsport and Jules Castro from GKS Lemons Power will be alongside each other on the second row. Tom Adams and Matthew Higgins on row number 3. Mylan Coppens and Kai Heilertz on row 4. Maurice Schuring, who got, I think, his best finish of the season in 9th place, will have Bart de Wit alongside on the completion of the top 10. Lars Zanen, who pipped Tom Breken by just 2 1,000ths of a second at the flag last time out, will be on row number 6, ahead of Danny Van Dyke, Summer Webb, Sam Bergstein, Bruno Mulders, Jeffrey Fixer, Chris Harnan, who starts all the way down in 18th position, Axel Hansel, Flint Schuring completing the top 20, with Drek Janssen, Will Jenkins, Callum Voisin, who I just mentioned a little bit about earlier on, Jamil Rogers from Azerbaijan, and Christian de Klein starting in 25th position. So 25 Junior Max drivers ready to go into battle, and it looks like Mike van Vugt is trying to get an earlier start on this formation lap. The drivers trying to get some heat into the Mojo tyres that adorn these karts. And they have proven time and time again to be a steadfast contact patch supplier in the Rotax family, and always good to see that it provides fantastic racing. So 25 drivers, top 10, pole it's Van Vugt, alongside will be Heinertz, then it's Ginchard and Castro, row 2, Adams and Higgins, row 3, Coppens and Heilertz, row 4, with Schuring and de Wit rounding out the top 10. Now Mike van Vugt and Tom Heinertz start to line up alongside each other coming through the final corner. This is going to get very, very tight indeed. Oh. So now here we go. Are we going to get a green light, or are we going to get the lights out signal here for final 2 for Junior Max? Is it lights out? Do we go away? Yes, we do. And Ginchard tries to muscle up the inside of Van Vugt. Couldn't get the opportunity there, but there is someone that's gone really, really wide and has been forced to the outside. That looks to be Kai Heilertz, who has dropped out of the top 10, I believe, as there is scrabbling. There is slight contact. Higgins is definitely getting his elbows out, and that's with Schuring. As well, oh my goodness me, it is absolutely kicking off in Junior Max. I cannot believe it. It was 2 abreast. I don't know how the entire field just got through turn 4. This, I cannot believe my eyes. I've just had to do a double take, and we've had carts coming together, and one's gone Eki style rally crossing off of turn number 6 in avoidance. Now, I'm just wondering who that is, because that driver had to take avoiding action, and that cart doesn't look like it's tracking true. But at the moment, Van Vugt is leading. Ginchard and Castro are at each other's throats for second position. And so Castro looks to have got past, I believe. Yes, that is the case. And you've got the 2:17 of Tom Adams. Then it's Tom Heinertz in 5th. Mylan Coppens, Matthew Higgins. They round out the top 7 positions. Maurice Schuring has got past Danny Van Dyke for 8th place. And that is Jamil Rogers that I think that might have just had to park it. In the meantime, Callum Voisin has got up into the top 20. He's 20th at the moment is the Brit. So we'll see how he progresses over the next 11 minutes and 13 seconds, plus an additional lap. And whilst everyone is scrobbling over the scraps on the dinner table, Mike van Vugt is at it again. He is leading away from everybody. It was 0.3 of a second. Now you've got Ginchard. You've got, oh my goodness me, Heinertz up into 4th now, having got past Tom Adams. Higgins is going to try and see if he can catch up to Mylan Coppens, but we'll have Maurice Schuring for close company very, very shortly. Then you've also got Danny Van Dyke, Lars Zanen, and Chris Harnan now up into 11th position is the 264. When we came into Mariembourg this weekend, he was actually 2nd in points. And looks like Coppens has dropped down the order by at least 2 to 3 places, as Schuring is really getting stuck in there. The new JJ Racing driver has just got past Matthew Higgins for position. That is for 6th on the road, I believe. So Coppens drops at least 3 positions. Higgins gets overtaken by Maurice Schuring. That is for position, so this is going to get really, really intense over the next 10 or so minutes. Van Vrucht did have a lead of just under a second. It is now 1.237. So that is really, really not at all a surprise, as there's more changes for position trying to happen. Matthew Higgins is trying to get past. I think he has done. Schuring definitely getting swallowed up. Van Dijk up the inside. Coppens up the inside. Oh, my goodness me. Chris Harnan, what is he going to bring to the party? You definitely know he's going to be a tour de force at some point, as the sun starts to beat back down on it, as it's shining a bright light on what we're seeing in front of us at the moment. But Mike Van Vrucht continues to lead. Daniel Ginchard in second position. Tom Heinertz third. Jules Castro in fourth. Tom Adams, Matthew Higgins. That's the top six at the minute. So, lead now is going to be over 1.3 seconds at the very, very least, as there's some bump drafting going on between Heinertz and Ginchard. It's 1.497 seconds, as Heinertz is really racy behind Ginchard. Higgins has got a bit more ground to make up to get back on level pegging terms with Tom Adams up ahead. So, running order at the moment. I'll say this as quickly as possible. 24 competitors, as long as somebody doesn't do an overtake in the next 30 seconds. Van Vrucht leads from Ginchard, Heinertz, Castro, Adams, Higgins, Coppens, Schuring, De Witt. Harnan now in 10th position. Danny Van Dijk, Kai Gielitz, Tom Breken, Lars Zanen, Summer Webb running out the top 15 ahead of Bruno Mulders, Will Jenkins, Jeffrey Fixer, Derek Janssen, Callum Voisin still in 20th position at the moment. Christian de Klein, Axel Hansel, Sam Bergstein and Flint Schuring, with unfortunately Jamil Rogers not taking any further participation in this race, as Heinertz goes right past Ginchard into turn number one to take back second position. And now he's signalling to Ginchard and probably to Castro as well. Let's get after 2:01, shall we? So Higgins has got some breathing space between himself and Marlon Coppens, who's now down in 7th position. Maurice Schuring still sitting in 8th, but Chris Harnan, the 264 from the Netherlands, is trying to close the JJ Racing driver down. So Flint Schuring in 24th position, definitely a long way off of the field. So in the meantime, the gap last time around was just under 1.9 seconds between first and second position. Here comes the defending champion, Mike Van Vrucht, across the start-finish line. Heinertz has got a bit of daylight between himself and Ginchard. Then it's back to Castro. Tom Adams, Matthew Higgins, Marlon Coppens, Maurice Schuring, Chris Harnan and Danny Van Dijk now complete the top 10. Van Dijk got past Bart de Witt on that last tour. So there is more side-by-side action coming through into turn number 7 a little bit just then. So it's probably towards the, maybe close towards the bottom part of the top 15. Maybe Lars Zanen might have been involved, as Van Vrucht continues to stride forward. And the gap now is 2.47 seconds. Again, just like last time, Van Vrucht has checked out. 6 minutes and 2 seconds plus an additional lap still to go in this race. And it is still very much, well, Dan Ginchard is still having to battle. This time it's not with Tom Heinertz. Jules Castro is not that far behind. Neither is Tom Adams from Coles Racing. So the field has started to spread out into, I wouldn't call it a procession. There are going to be opportunities where drivers will be able to claw back at others, and this does seem to be the case in point with Dan Ginchard still sitting in the top 3. So he's third at the moment. Jules Castro, last time around, was a fraction quicker than the Brits and was 0.163 off of the 254 last time around. So Matthew Higgins, who's currently still sitting 6th on the road in the 275, has Mylan Coppens and a very, very determined, I must say, Chris Harnan, who started 18th. He's now made up 9 positions in the last 9 minutes. So could he make any more positional increases over the next 4 and a bit minutes plus an additional lap? Time will only tell, and it won't be a case of if, it will be a case of when, because the first person that he's got to try and get past is Mylan Coppens in the 244, as he really is quite close to the Belgian going through turn 4. Now they head over to the far side of the circuit around turn 6, so Higgins really doing a very consistent job there, trying to keep Coppens and Harnan at bay, but also keep his position on the road at the minute. And Matthew is in the position where he was, where he finished as a result of the last race. Van Voost's lead in the meantime has gone now, I think, past 3 seconds. 3.026 ahead of Tom Heine. Dan Ginchard is trying to keep in touch, but is about just under 7/10 of a second adrift, as there has been a change, and Chris Harnan has got past Mylan Coppens for 7th place. So it's a case of Matthew Higgins now having to go very, very, I think, a bit more defensive now, but we'll have to try and minimise trying to look over his shoulders to see where Chris Harnan is, but he might need to do that in order to try and give himself a bit of breathing space, as the Dutchman is all over the back bumper of the 275, going through the second infill part of the circuit, heading into the latter sector of the track itself. But Higgins at the moment still, as far as I can see, is still holding on to that position at the minute. Or has he? Or has Harnan got him? See what has happened here. That is the case. So now Chris Harnan is past Matthew Higgins. So Harnan up from 18th into 6th place. That's a dynamite drive from the Dutchman. As well, Coppens has also overtaken Higgins, who I think may have gone a bit wide coming out of turn number 2. Didn't really see it, as he takes a quick look over his right shoulder and sees Higgins and goes, right, I better look forward now. But Higgins will be steely determined, as there's 2 minutes plus an additional lap to go here in this last of 2 Junior Max finals today. So just keeping my eyes on the times that are being set by both Daniel Ginchard and Jules Castro. Tom Reiners has just gone in and put a 55.699, but Mike Van Voogd again has put in the fastest lap of anybody in this race. A 55.469 from the number 201 from the Netherlands. So Van Voogd leads by 3.394 seconds ahead of Tom Heinert. Daniel Ginchard rounds out the top 3, who are separated by 4.162 seconds, as there is more action happening. I'm just seeing now there is Kai Rielitz in the middle of that mix, as I think that is Tom Breken, who's just got past Lars Seinen for position. So that is for 11th. So they have been dueling quite significantly. So the 208 from Belgium. Yep, and that is the case. But then Seinen returns the favour going through turn 1. Breken back on the offensive straight away. Oh, that was close. A little bit of front bumper to rear bumper contact, the slightest of nudges, but didn't do enough to unsettle the kart for Seinen. So we are down to the last 15 seconds plus an additional lap to go. So I don't think I think the timer will expire before Mike van Vugt, I think, even gets to the chicane, which is the case right now. This will be the penultimate lap, so the final lap board will be prepared, and it's going to be shown to Mike van Vugt, who's calmly going on with the job at hand. Tom Heinert still in second, Daniel Ginchard in third, Jules Castro, Tom Adams, Chris Harnan, Mylan Coppens, Matthew Higgins, Maurice Schuring, and Danny Van Dyke complete the top 10, as Zanen and Breken are really going at it, hammer and tongs. And I tell you what, there's going to be a move a little bit further back, as Summer Webb is going to go up the inside, or try and go up the inside of Bart de Wit, but that is allowing Will Jenkins to close up. And Rielertz is really having to fend off Tom Breken. So Rielertz must have got past, yeah, Zanen got past Breken, as did Rielertz. But ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, the winning streak is going to continue, because out of the final chicane comes Mike van Vugt from the Netherlands, who does the double here today in Mariembourg. What a job from Tom Heinert, second position. Dan Ginchard, third. Jules Castro, Tom Adams, Chris Harnan, Mylan Coppens, and Matthew Higgins round out the top 8. Maurice Schuring takes 9th ahead of Danny Van Dyke. Lars Zanen and Kai Rielertz round out the top 12 positions. Tom Breken finished in 13th place ahead of Summer Webb. Bart de Wit in 15th ahead of Will Jenkins, Jeffrey Fixer, Christian de Klein. Callum Voisin actually managed to get up to 19th at the end of it, so it will be reset, come back, fight another day tomorrow for the Brit. Drake Janssen and Bruno Mulders round out the top 21 positions ahead of Sam Bergstein, Axel Hansel, and Flint Schuring, with Jamil Rogers unfortunately doing the Matthias Ekstrom style rally crossing on the infield, having to call it a day early on the very first lap of action.